It's not the salt. See this reading? Insulin is stuck high because you're eating too often. That's the real issue.
All right, let's get right into this. There's this incredibly frustrating puzzle that happens in doctors' offices all the time. You have people who are doing everything right. I mean, they're eating clean, they're exercising, they've cut the salt, but for some reason, their blood pressure just will not go down. It's a mystery that honestly leaves a lot of people just scratching their heads. And this quote from an emergency physician really just nails it. You can feel the frustration, right? Imagine being that doctor, looking at a patient who's followed all the rules, but they're not getting that reward of a healthy blood pressure reading. And hey, if this whole scenario sounds a little too familiar to you, you are definitely not alone. So that brings us to the big question, the one we're going to unpack here. You've done all the work. You've made the lifestyle changes. So why are the numbers still high? Well, it turns out the answer might have a lot less to do with what you're eating and everything to do with when. So here's our game plan. We're going to start with this paradox. Then we'll move beyond the usual suspects like salt, uncover a hidden hormonal culprit, and I mean really break down how it works. And then we'll get to the good stuff, a simple solution that's all about timing and why this matters for your entire body. Okay, first up, let's really dive into this healthy patient paradox. This is all about that person who looks like a model of health, but their body just isn't getting the memo. I mean, look at this profile. It's perfect, right? You've got whole foods, daily walks, no junk food, skipping the salt shaker, you name it. On paper, this person should have absolutely fantastic blood pressure. And yet, for so many people, the readings are consistently and just stubbornly high. This disconnect, this is where the conventional wisdom starts to fall apart. So, if it's not the salt and it's not the other usual suspects, what in the world is going on? Well, the problem is often much, much deeper than we think. It's not about the amounts of fluid in your system, the volume. It's about a faulty signal that's constantly telling your body what to do with that fluid. This slide really shows the huge shift in thinking. On the left, that's the traditional model we all know. Less salt means less water, which means lower pressure. Simple. But on the right, that's where the real problem lies. It's hormonal. There's a key system that's basically stuck in the on position, telling the kidneys 24/7 to hold on to sodium no matter how little salt you actually eat. It's a problem of a signal that just won't shut off. So what's sending this broken signal? This brings us to our hidden culprit. It's a hormone most of us only think about when it comes to blood sugar, but it has this powerful and frankly overlooked role in your blood pressure. And that hormone is insulin. Now, to really get why this is a problem, we first have to understand how insulin is supposed to work. It's designed to be pulsatile. Now, what does that mean? It just means it's supposed to spike up when you eat to do its job, and then, and this is the critical part, it's supposed to fall all the way back down to its baseline, to almost zero. And here is the problem in a nutshell. Look at the left side. That's the intended pattern. Insulin pops up with a meal, then goes away completely. A temporary instruction. But now look at the right. That's the modern problem. With constant eating and snacking, insulin never gets a chance to come back down. It just stays elevated all day long, creating this continuous on signal that our bodies were just never ever designed to handle. And this is where it gets so tricky, because a lot of our healthy habits are the very things keeping that insulin signal switched on. That mid-morning smoothie, the handful of nuts in the afternoon, the protein shake after a workout, even that healthy late-night snack of fruit. None of these foods are bad, but the frequency of eating them creates this 14, 15, even 16-hour window where insulin is never allowed to just quiet down and reset. So how exactly does this constantly high insulin lead to high blood pressure? Well, it sets off this really powerful domino effect inside your body. It's a pretty clear chain reaction when you see it like this. The constant feeding and snacking means insulin never gets back to its baseline. This gives your kidneys a relentless, non-stop signal to hold on to sodium. And what's the direct result of that? You guessed it, blood pressure that just stays stubbornly, persistently high. I love this analogy because it's just perfect. When your insulin is always high, it's like the tap in the bathtub is stuck on full blast. Trying to fix it by cutting salt from your diet? That's like trying to bail out the water with a tiny bucket. Sure, you might make a little difference, but you're never going to fix the overflowing problem until you turn off the tap. In fact, high insulin is a real triple threat. 1. It directly tells the kidneys to hang on to sodium. 2. It keeps your nervous system in this low-grade fight or flight mode all day. And 3. It actually prevents your blood vessels from relaxing and widening the way they're supposed to. All 3 of these things directly push your blood pressure up. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, but I'm not overweight, I have a normal BMI. And this is where this concept of TOFI comes in, thin outside, fat inside. It's totally possible to look slim, but still carry this hidden, metabolically active fat around your internal organs. And that internal fat is a major driver of insulin resistance, which forces your body to pump out even more insulin just to get the job done.
So what on earth is the solution? Well, here's the really good news. It's not about more restriction. It's not about cutting out whole food groups you love. It's about something much simpler. It's about resetting the signal. It's about timing.
And you know what? The research gives us a really powerful and actionable target. We're talking studies from major journals showing that by simply condensing all of your eating into a 10-hour window each day, get this, without even changing what you eat, people see significant reductions in their blood pressure.
And when you see it laid out visually like this, the difference is it's stark. On the top, you've got that typical 16-hour grazing pattern, right, that keeps insulin high almost all waking hours. But on the bottom, a 10-hour window automatically creates a 14-hour fasting period every single day. That fasting period, that's the magic. That's when your body finally gets the break it needs to reset. So your toolkit for resetting this signal is actually pretty straightforward. First, condense your eating. Create that fasting window. Second, use exercise strategically because it makes your body so much more responsive to insulin. And third, you have to prioritize sleep. Sleep isn't passive, it's active metabolic repair time. Okay, finally, let's zoom out to the big picture here, because fixing this isn't just about lowering a number on a machine. It has these massive implications for your overall long-term health.
And this is so important to understand. This mechanism, this state of chronically high insulin, it's not just causing one problem. It's actually the root cause behind a whole cascade of other modern metabolic diseases that we see everywhere today.
This is why this stuff matters so much. When you fix the underlying insulin problem to lower your blood pressure, you are at the same time dramatically reducing your risk for all of these other major conditions: type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, PCOS, even things like heart failure and Alzheimer's. You're not just patching up a symptom, you're going after the root cause.
So we'll end with this thought. For decades, the focus has been on the ingredients, right? The what. But maybe, just maybe, the most crucial question we should be asking about our health has been overlooked this whole time. It's not just what you eat, but when you eat. Is your body getting the downtime it so desperately needs to finally turn off that signal, release the pressure, and truly reset?